Hey there guys, Next Strike here back again for another video, and today we're going to be talking about Batman Arkham Knight, which is easily my most anticipated game of 2014, and it's only been about a day or two since we've actually even known it existed, and I'm already pumped. So yes, I'm going to do a special video about who I think will be in Arkham Knight, the characters. And I'll be doing a lot of videos on Arkham Knight because I think it's an awesome series. I've loved Arkham Asylum, loved Arkham City. Arkham Origins was a waste to me, but the two made by Rocksteady were fantastic. And of course I want to talk about it. And I think this is an interesting topic because, you know, you guys seem to love when I did the who I think should be in Injustice Gods Among Us, or who I think will be, whatever it was titled, I forget. So of course I'm going to do that for Arkham Knight. I like to figure out what works and what doesn't on my channel, and that works. So first we're going to talk about the confirmed characters for Batman Arkham Knight and get those out of the way. First we have Batman, obviously. We have James Gordon, Oracle, Harley Quinn, who will be playable via DLC, which, oh boy, they're already starting that pre-order exclusive nonsense, and I don't like it, but whatever. Then we have the Riddler, Two-Face, Scarecrow, which we haven't seen footage of Scarecrow, but it's been confirmed. I think, at least in the email I got from DC, they said that Scarecrow would be uniting all the villains. So yeah, Scarecrow, Penguin, and the new villain created by Jeff Johns, the Arkham Knight, which is pretty sweet. And I will do a separate video about the Arkham Knight, so I'm not going to talk about that now, but we'll have a little fun with that later. Alright, now we go into the speculation as to who I think will be in this game. Now, there was recently an interview by Rocksteady where they said, hey look, we've set up all these characters in the first two games, now all their arcs are going to come together, and it's going to be this big grudge match, revenge thing. So I have a feeling that a lot of the characters from the past two games will come back. So I made sure to get on a wiki, look at all the characters that have been in the first two games, at least the villains and important people, and you know, and then of course there's going to be some new characters. So I just decided to look through, and here's my speculation. So first, let's do the heroes and villains. For starters, my second favorite character and hero in DC, Nightwing. I think Nightwing has to be in this game. He is the original Boy Wonder and pretty much the second in command. Well, I guess third in command. Alfred would be the most trusted, then Nightwing. So yeah, Nightwing is really important to the Batman mythos, and he didn't really do anything story-wise in Arkham City, but Robin did, and it looked like Robin would be even more important after the DLC Harley Quinn's Revenge. So if Oracle and Robin are important, you got to bring in Nightwing. You just got to. And I think it's, especially now, Batman's going to need the Bat family, so I think there's going to be a lot of Bat family characters in this game. And I hope so. It'd be really cool. Okay. Then we have the highest, most fan-requested character that everybody wants in everything Batman-related, the Red Hood, a.k.a. Jason Todd. Naturally, everyone wants Jason Todd. He's an awesome character. Under the Red Hood was a fantastic movie, one of the best DC's ever made. And I think his character in general was really fascinating. His comics suck, so don't get it from the New 52. But he's a really cool character, and I think he'd be awesome in the Arkham universe. And he's been referenced in Arkham City. A lot of people have been referenced, but he's been referenced, so I think it's natural to bring him in. And we can only hope for the best. Then we have, of course, Robin, Tim Drake. He has to come back. I mean, he was really important in Arkham City, and I think that gameplay style that they used for Tim Drake Robin, where, you know, you switch between Batman and Robin, will be used, hopefully with Nightwing as well, maybe even Red Hood and some other characters, but I think it'd be really cool, and he has to come back. So yeah, why not? Tim Drake. I don't think he'll be Red Robin, but he could be, so who knows? Then we have Damian Wayne, which a lot of people are saying, well, in a year, would it be feasible to bring in Damian Wayne? Yes. A lot happens in a year. And Damian Wayne was heavily referenced, you know, because Talia said, remember that night in Metropolis, Bruce, which is where they made Damian. So, yeah, bring Damian in. Come on. Why not? Now, I don't want him to replace Tim Drake as Robin. But I think it'd be cool to at least have him in there some way. I don't know. I think it'd be cool. Then we have Azrael. Azrael pretty much guaranteed to come back. Azrael said, you know, all this stuff's going to happen. We will meet again. And then he disappears. So Azrael's coming back. He has to. He has to. Then we have Catwoman. Yeah, I put her as a hero, but, you know, I mean, she pretty much is. Well, actually, on my list, I put hero / anti-hero. So Red Hood and Catwoman kind of fit into the anti-hero, but whatever. Catwoman's definitely going to come back. I mean, again, it's another iconic character. Her playstyle was really cool, and she was kind of, well, I guess she wasn't too important in Arkham City, but hey, the more characters you can play as, the better. And they've already made, you know, these different sort of gameplay styles for Catwoman, Nightwing, and Robin, so why not just keep adding on? I mean, why not, you know? And, of course, the last one would be Batgirl. Now, I say Batgirl. It doesn't have to be Oracle Batgirl, Barbara Gordon. It could be Stephanie Brown, or it could be Cassandra Cain. I think she was Batgirl, right? It could be anybody, really. But I think if Oracle... we've seen pictures of Batgirl being Oracle, and she's in a chair, so I'm guessing she's going to be crippled again. But that doesn't mean we can't have Stephanie Brown or someone else, so we'll see what happens. Okay, now we're getting into the villains, which could be a big thing, but we shall see. First, we have the king of crime, the Joker. The Joker is a character that a lot of people have been talking about ever since this got announced. Will he come back? Will he come back? Now, Rocksteady has went out of their way to say, look, we didn't just kill the Joker off in the ending of Arkham City for shock value. He is dead. And I believe him. He's dead. But that doesn't mean he can't come back from the dead. Now, personally, I don't think they're going to do this whole thing where he's the big villain again or whatever. No. But in a world where we have a Lazarus pit, anybody can come back from the dead. So I'm not ruling it out. But at the very least, I think Joker will at least appear in Batman's psyche and as some sort of hallucination. And we already know he's going to be referenced. So at the very least, the Joker will be referenced. As big of a character as he is, he can't just disappear. It's not going to happen. Okay, then we have the Black Mask. The Black Mask would make perfect sense in this world because it's all the villains teaming up, and the Black Mask is a big mob dealer. So naturally, he would be involved in this crime alliance because he's got a lot of big muscle behind him. You know, he's big. And I've really said, hasn't really done too much in Arkham City, but why not use him? Why not? Then we have Mr. Freeze, Victor Freeze, whatever you want to call him. He was really cool in Arkham City, everyone's favorite boss fight, so, I mean, hey, bring him back. Mr. Freeze is an awesome character, and, yeah, bring Mr. Freeze back, he's cool. Then we have Hush. Hush is a character that a lot of people are actually speculating might be a main villain, which would make sense. Yeah, I mean, Hush, the comic book Batman Hush, if you haven't read it, it's really good. It's really good. If you are well endowed in the Batman mythology, because it has a lot of characters that you like in it, if you like Batman. And Hush, he'd be a pretty cool character, especially what they did with him having Bruce Wayne's face at the end of Arkham City. There could be a lot they could do with that. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Hush. He's definitely going to appear, though. They're trying to tie up all their loose ends, clearly, with the last game. So, they're not just going to have a Hush reference and then not do anything with it. Obviously, he's coming back for the third one. So, Hush, pretty much confirmed. Okay, next we have Bane, the man who broke the bat. Bane hasn't played too much importance in the past two Arkham games made by Rocksteady, but you never know. Bane's another one of those iconic characters. I doubt they're going to get rid of him. At the very least, he'll be in a side mission, so we'll see. And he got burned pretty bad in Arkham City by Batman after just locking him, what was it, in a subway or something? So, yeah, I'd say he's going to come back. And another one that has been in both of the past Arkham games is Poison Ivy. Will Poison Ivy return? I'd say so. Again, she hasn't played a big role, but hey, another iconic villain, why not? Next we have Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy is one I'm iffy on, honestly. This is the first character I've mentioned that I don't really think will be back, but I think it's important to mention Solomon Grundy since he was in the last game. It looked like Batman finished him off, but again, he could appear. What are you guys' thoughts on that? And here's another iffy one: Deathstroke and or the Suicide Squad. Now, of course, Deathstroke and the Suicide Squad are part of Batman Arkham Origins, but at the end of Arkham Origins, they hinted at the Suicide Squad and Deathstroke being a member. So, will that play back into this game? Doubtful. Probably what's going to happen is Warner Brothers Montreal is saying that, oh, they're ending their Arkham trilogy. That means we're going to get to play with it more, which is probably what's going to end up happening. And then we'll have a mediocre Batman Arkham series that will tarnish the name of the Rocksteady Arkham. And no, I'm not a purist or anything, but honestly, if you say Arkham Origins holds up to the other two, you're just, no. It just doesn't. You know, I mean, like, you can like the story. The story wasn't bad, no. It just doesn't really compare, especially with all the bugs and the gameplay problems, no. It just didn't have that quality touch that Rocksteady does. But anyway, aside from your preference, I think it would be cool if we saw Deathstroke. Now, that could cause problems, seeing as how, you know, Origins happened and everything, but the fact that Origins did happen means Deathstroke has been in the Arkham universe, and he could return. So, we shall see. Not to mention, Deathstroke has become a very popular character in DC. You know, with Arrow, he's become a central character. With Injustice, he was in Injustice. He was in, oh gosh, what has he been in? He's been in a lot lately. So, it just wouldn't surprise me if he was, because Deathstroke's been hyped up. I don't know why. I guess they might do something with him in the cinematic universe, but we'll see. We'll see. Next, we have Ra's al Ghul and Talia al Ghul. Now, I think both of these will definitely be coming back, because Ra's al Ghul was burned pretty bad by Arkham City. I mean, he lost his daughter, and he died. So, naturally, he's going to want revenge against Batman. Now, Joker killed Talia, and he can't really take it out on Joker because Joker's dead. But he could blame Batman for that. Not to mention, he did die, so he could also blame Batman for that as well, and ruining his plans for destroying Gotham, which has pretty much been his whole plan. Especially if you've seen Batman Begins, he has the same thing. You know, it's like, well, this is a corrupt city, and I'm all about taking out corrupt people. So, yeah, I definitely see Ra's al Ghul coming back. And if you guys didn't know, at the end of Arkham City, if you go look where his body was, it's no longer there. And so, yeah, I mean, there you go. The League of Assassins took his body, and they're going to revive him. So, he's definitely coming back with vengeance. And Talia, again, Lazarus Pit, she's going to come back. I don't see how she couldn't. She was definitely important to the story. It's affecting Batman very psychologically. He's very messed up, so we'll just have to see what happens. Next, we have a minor character, Calendar Man. Calendar Man has appeared in Arkham Origins and Arkham City. He could just be another minor villain, but it is important to note that he did escape at the end of Arkham City, so I'd say he'll come back. Not sure what he'll do, but he'll come back. Next, we have Clayface. I think Clayface could potentially be important because of what Clayface did at the end of Arkham City. Not to mention, again, he's another veteran to the Arkham universe. He's been in Arkham Asylum as well, so I think he could come back. I think it's going to happen, guys. Next, we have Deadshot. Deadshot is a really cool character. He fighting people with guns that have such, dead-on aim is always fun. I'm assuming they're going to change up that boss gameplay, though, because Origins recycled the Arkham City, which, if you look at Arkham Origins, again, hating on Arkham Origins, but Arkham Origins recycled a lot of stuff from Arkham City. Deathstroke versus Batman, the same thing as Ra's al Ghul versus Batman. As far as, like, the whole counter hitting him, like, 50 times in the head and then punching him 50 times, whatever. You guys know what I mean, but Deadshot, I'm assuming they're going to change the way that plays because they're not going to use the whole, Catwoman versus Two-Face model again. Although it was cool, I think they'll change it up, and there's a lot you can do with Deadshot. So yeah, I don't see why not. Mad Hatter is another character that could come back. With Scarecrow back in it, it makes it less likely, but he could still return. I don't know what they could do with him though, but hey, we'll see. We'll see. Hugo Strange. A big question mark for Hugo Strange because he died and he blew up. So probably not going to come back, but hey, you never know. Next we have Killer Croc. Definitely think Killer Croc's going to come back. Now I don't know how important Killer Croc's going to be, but he was in both Asylum and City, so he could come back. Next we have Victor Zsasz. Victor Zsasz is never really been too important, but he is again one of those characters they could use for side missions, so again I say, why not? Next we have Jack Ryder, or the Creeper. Again, he has been mentioned in both Asylum and City, and he could be an interesting one to play with. You know, he was actually in Arkham City as a reporter, and we've never seen him as the Creeper, so maybe he'll actually appear as the Creeper in this final game and be a potential ally, so who knows. Next we have Scarface. Scarface has really not done much of anything, but I think he could be at least like some sort of Easter egg because, you know, like I said, hasn't really done anything, but we'll see what he does. And here are two new 52 characters I think could potentially make it into this game. Now, there are a lot of stories that they can't do because the Joker's dead, like Death of the Family. That can't happen. 0 Year obviously can't happen. And those are the two big ones aside from the Court of Owls, which get to that in a minute. But there's a lot that you just can't do because this is the final thing, and they probably don't want to start up a lot of loose ends unless they all try and tie it into one thing. But I think one interesting one they could do is the Dollmaker. And the Dollmaker is in Detective Comics Volume 1, in case you're wondering. He's the one that cut off the Joker's face, and, you know, he could be another minor side quest thing you could do in the game, and hey, the more the merrier. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, the Court of Owls and having Talon in the game. I think that would be really cool to have Talon. Maybe even the one, forget his name, but it's the Grayson Talon that Batman fought in Volume 1 of the New 52. It's the one that's related to Dick Grayson, obviously. And he was really cool. So I'd love to see him appear in something sometime soon. And hey, why not? Have him as a character. He'd be really cool. He'd make a perfect challenge for Batman. And he's a big part of Gotham because they've been in a secret society in Gotham forever. So why not? And the final character that I'm going to speculate that's going to potentially be in Arkham is Thomas Wayne. Will Thomas Wayne appear in Arkham Knight? Because there's been quite a few storylines where Thomas Wayne's come back. Not to mention, the Flashpoint movie came out recently, and, well, the Flashpoint comic is a recent comic, and a lot of people like that version of Batman. So, could Thomas Wayne potentially appear, considering how much time they spent reading his will at the beginning of that trailer? But again, I'll go more into that in another video. But, anyway, that's all for this video. I hope you guys liked. Please thumbs this up if you liked it and share it around because I'd like as many people to see it as possible. Makes me feel happy. And comment below. Let me know what characters you want to see or any sort of comments on the things that I've said and just anything in general you want out of this game. The only worry I currently have, because they have went out and said, like, hey, you know, the Arkham City suit's going to be in the beginning of the game, which makes me really happy. And I'm also going to maybe buy the comic book that comes out for this game, which will probably be out sometime in September, if I had to guess, or maybe October, who knows. But the only thing that really worries me is Paul Dini's not back. And Paul Dini was a big part of the first two, so that makes me a little worried. But it's Rocksteady, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, see what happens. Anyway, that's all I had for now. Catch you guys later.